What's going on, everybody? Brad Cohen, Harmon Realty. In this video, I want to talk about some potentially costly mistakes that people make when selling their property. One of the first mistakes people make is underestimating the cost of selling your property. And whether you're going to use an agent or list it by yourself, oftentimes people don't realize the additional costs that come with selling your property. Everything from your prorated taxes and insurance, preparing the deed to the property, potentially repairs that you may make either in preparing to sell or during the negotiation process, potentially concessions towards the buyer's closing costs or other settlement fees that come up. Oftentimes people don't know the actual costs that come along with selling in addition to the commission. So you don't want to underestimate those. Second, setting an unrealistic price. It happens all the time that we see properties will hit the market and then they'll sit. The biggest mistake people make is they think that when they price high, it gives them more room to negotiate down. And what happens most often is it actually has an adverse effect in that you won't have buyers even come through the door. In today's world, when everyone has access to information, buyers know what a house is worth, and they're able to identify just as well as we are when something's overpriced. So set the appropriate price from the beginning to try and induce multiple offers. Then, when you get into the negotiation process, another potential mistake people make is only considering the highest offer. Oftentimes what you'll see is people will pad their offer with a higher price and then have additional contingencies that could potentially cost you a lot more money. Maybe their offer is the highest, but they're asking for a significant concession towards their closing costs. Or maybe their offer has 2 or 3 different inspection contingencies. So it is important to consider the dollars and cents, especially when you know the condition of your property. However, you do want to look at all of the terms of the offer. And that takes us to an additional one: ignoring major renovation costs or deferred maintenance. If you don't take the time to prepare your property for market, it's gonna show when a buyer walks through it. If you've had that old plumbing leak that's got a stain in the ceiling, make sure you take the time to get that repaired and taken care of and painted over so people aren't walking through and picking the property apart. If you know something's wrong about your house, get it taken care of before you go to sell it. The last two are very, very important. Another mistake people make when they are listing their property for sale is limiting showings. Access to the property is one of the most important things outside of your price, condition, and marketing. People want to be able to come in for showings. And when you have to restrict your hours or you have to limit the number of showings that are able to come through the door, it's a really, really off-putting to buyers. The last mistake I see people make all the time is choosing the wrong agent or the wrong way to sell. Only you can determine what is the right circumstance for you to sell your property as to whether you want to go open market with it, whether you want to for sale by owner, whether you want to sell to an iBuyer. You have to make that decision based off of what's right for you. However, the mistake that people make is they think they have the whole picture without even interviewing agents, or they go with the first agent that they speak to without actually doing some due diligence on them. When you list with an agent, I want you to make sure that you are working with an experienced seller's agent, because a buyer's agent may not have the ins and outs and knowledge that you need to succeed on the sales side. So in summary, these are just some of the potentially costly mistakes that people make when they go to sell their property. I hope that it won't be you, so please feel free to reach out if you're thinking about selling your property and we can talk through all of the ins and outs of the selling process and make sure that we avoid these costly mistakes. Thanks so much for watching my video. If you have any questions, always feel free to reach out. Brad Cohen, Harmon Realty, your go-to real estate resource here in Harrisonburg and Rockingham.